Apple stock is cratering in after hours, down about 2.5%. At the same time, AMC stock is up over 0.5% here in after hours. I think this is further evidence of the relationship between Apple specifically, but other stocks, large tech market cap stocks, and this relationship with AMC stock. We'll briefly talk about that here in this video, but I want to talk about what's going on in Apple, how this can fuel margin calls with AMC stock and really trigger this collateral crisis, because after all, AMC, the short interest is at the highest levels that it has been at throughout the history of this trade. So there is a lot of merit to be had in this discussion. So we're going to get into everything you guys need to know. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section, guys. So let's get straight into this video with what is going on with Apple stock. Apple is down 2.31% right now in after hours. You're also seeing the regional bank index down over 5% here in after hours. This is a colossal move for both of these equities, right? For regional banks, that's huge. For Apple, that's almost unprecedented to see a 2% down move based off of Qualcomm earnings. Qualcomm earnings is what is doing it. Now, why is this happening? Well, Qualcomm gives light forecast. Phone chip sales fall 17%, and that is Qualcomm, one of Qualcomm's core businesses, and it declined more than what people were expecting. Now, why this is important is because Qualcomm is a supplier to Apple, but what is specifically causing Apple to fall like this in after hours is this. Qualcomm CEO Cristiano Amon blamed a challenging environment in a statement, and the company said it has not yet seen evidence that smartphone sales are recovering in China. A big narrative to fuel the rally in Apple stock so far in 2023, almost hitting brand new highs, is because China is recovering and the Chinese consumer is buying iPhones, and that does not look to be the case after Qualcomm's earnings. So Apple and AMC have this very interesting relationship where basically all hedge funds, to some degree, if they're technology hedge funds or if they just want to follow the markets at the very minimum, which they kind of have to do to keep clients, they own Apple. Now, when Apple falls a lot, that collateral ratio goes down in AMC, because odds are a lot of hedge funds are using stocks such as Apple, your stocks that you couldn't even conceive falling, 50% or something, right? Very stable businesses with lots of cash on hand. They're using those kind of stocks and pledging it as collateral for AMC, meaning that AMC, if you were a hedge fund to lose a lot of money in a trade and you didn't necessarily have the cash there, if you were backing a hedge fund in a short position, you're going to take Apple as collateral any day of the week. It's like your car. Like if you have a portfolio with Apple stock and you want to go out and buy a new car or get any kind of loan, they're going to take your Apple stock as almost dollar for dollar collateral. Now, there's some degree a haircut to this collateral because stocks are not fixed assets. They do move around, but long story short, when Apple stock falls like this, you get reactions to the positive with AMC as of recently. Now, on the other hand, the regional banking sector is also under fire here today in after hours, and that is because PacWest falls 40% after hours on report bank is weighing a sale. This is Pacific Western Bank. They just reported earnings. Their earnings were decent, but the stock has been getting absolutely beaten down. Stock is now down 53% in after hours. So this is, again, fueling more of this panic within the regional banks, and even banks that have been seen as pretty strong, right? Holding up in a lot of this turbulence, which PacWest just, a couple days ago was kind of that, right? They had fallen, but they weren't down and out yet. Nobody really thought PacWest was going to be the next one to fall. And now you're seeing the stock getting absolutely decimated here in after hours. That is causing the regional bank index to fall quite a bit. Like I said, about 5% here in after hours. And this is furthermore fueling fears that this banking crisis might get worse. And after what we heard from Fed Jerome Powell today, it does not look like a banking crisis or banking meltdown is going to cause the Fed to cut rates until inflation comes down. It's not going to happen. And the timing of all of this makes for a really bad situation for equity land. Now, AMC had a stellar day today. So AMC is not in this camp that we are discussing. AMC stock was up 4.36% in after hours, up 0.5% as well in after hours trading. I think I said after hours twice there. Nonetheless, the stock is up quite a bit today, almost 5%, including regular trading and after hours trading. Now, AMC continues to be in this breakout mode. Now, you have seen a lot of green days back to back, and if you look at this on a technical basis, the stock is, ready for that upside move in a bigger way than not. You have now recovered all of the loss you've seen March 14th and beyond. So you are now higher than where you were March 14th by quite a bit, actually. The high of March 14th was right here at about $5.51 per share. You were at $5.76 per share. You're breaking out past the prior high. The close you've seen on April 14th was $5.12. The high was $5.76. So now AMC stock is up $5.78 per share. You are now at the highest level intraday after hours for a close that you have seen since March 14th. This is continuing this bullish pattern that we've been talking about here, and it looks like AMC stock is ready to blow the faces off of these short sellers, and I do expect an explosive move to proceed. It might be before earnings, it might be after earnings. Typically, AMC stock does not perform well right before and right after earnings, but they tend to rally the subsequent weeks following earnings. So I think Apple falling like this, obviously, as well as the regional banks falling like this, puts a lot of pressure on those short positions. It puts a lot of pressure on hedge funds and the collateral that they are using to back these AMC short positions. And I think that should be pretty straightforward, but it's definitely getting a whole hell of a lot worse here in after hours. And those comments on the Chinese consumer not buying more phones is not good. Not good for Apple. Keep in mind, Apple reports earnings tomorrow, so it could be a pretty rough day in the markets tomorrow as well. Now, let's go ahead and get into some of the numbers and the data here behind AMC stock, and I do have Apple pulled up because I was taking a look at that. But if we go ahead and pull up AMC, we got a live short interest of free float at 25.55%, 132 million shares that are currently sold short. Cost to borrow average at 336.5%, cost to borrow max at 350%, and 133.5% cost to borrow minimum. So numbers here, just won't go down. You're really not getting a break here as far as the cost to borrow rates. It's pretty brutal if you are short in AMC right now. That's not the place you want to be. Let's just call it that. You do have about 850,000 shares currently available to be lent out with a cost of borrow rate of about 177%. Option activity for the day today, 44 orders totaling $57.76 million, positive order value of 2%. So not very positive today, but again, in line with kind of what we have seen recently. And a lot of these put orders are massive, guys. A June 16th $10 put for $2.63 million. A May 19th $10 put for $2.31 million. A June 16th $10 put for $2.63 million. Right there, you got over $7 million of put positions in just 3 orders. So granted, AMC is moving up about 5% on the day. Given you have that kind of bearish option activity, just shows how strong this rally actually looks to be. So keep that in mind. This is a very strong rally, and you do have negative factors that are weighing against you here. Just imagine when those negative factors are not there anymore. When people actually start to flip and realize, hey, this trade with AMC stock is not going to go the way that we expect. There's probably going to be a recount, right, of common stockholders, and that's probably not going to be deemed as a bullish thing for AMC. There's a lot of things on the near-term horizon. Just consider after AMC earnings, you typically rally 50 to 150% on top of the $2.5+ billion that have been lost in AMC short positions so far in 2023. Not to mention Q4 was pretty good, was pretty bad for hedge funds as well. It's not looking so pretty for these hedgies out here. And just based off of the pure outperformance that you've seen with AMC today, even as the markets were falling, AMC stock not even close. I mean, markets were falling and AMC stock was rising into the close. For comparison here, this was the S&P 500 and this was AMC. Quite the opposite here. So again, very, very excited with what I am currently seeing. I'm kind of excited to see what happens between this relationship with Apple and AMC tomorrow as well, because I think it's pretty safe to say tomorrow is going to be a pretty red day. So there you have that. As far as the Stock O tracker data, you are looking at in the money calls for AMC for this Friday at about 50,000. Out the money calls at 118,000, in the money puts at 14,000, out the money puts at 150,000. So some pretty big numbers here. Again, these calls as they remain in the money or even new calls come into the money with maybe some fresh money as well, will continue to fuel a lot of that upside hedging, because even if they're in the money right now, doesn't necessarily mean they're being fully hedged for, depending on what the cost was to purchase these options. A lot of other different factors. You likely see continued hedging of options throughout the rest of this week. And again, AMC earnings Friday pre-market. It's going to be a wild one, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys also want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.